Hi, Pete Allman here. Welcome back to another edition of Celebrity Scene News. I want to tell you about a great entertainer, one of the greatest here in Las Vegas. That's Freddie Bell. Freddie passed recently, and we're going to talk to some people that knew Freddie that could relate some great stories. I can tell you he was a man that had passion. He was a man that had a lot of understanding. He helped me a lot, and I can tell you he was just a great guy. Here with me today is Carmi. Carmi, you were a very good friend of Freddie's, and I know you came in from Florida for this.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about Freddie Bell.
Yeah, Freddie was my best friend. We'd known each other for years and years and years. And the story that I love about Freddie, he was working at the Sands Hotel back in the 50s. And in those days, the pit controlled the sound. Well, the bellboys were loud, so the casino manager walked by and turned the sound off. Well, Freddie, the next show, he said, listen, next show, what we're going to do, we're going to mime the whole show. Everybody make like they're playing, we'll make like we're singing, we'll do the whole show, no sound. So that's what they did. And Jack and Trotter was sitting at the end of the bar, hysterical, tears coming out of his eyes. So we got off the stage and he said, Freddie, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen. You're fired. He fired him. But now he's still under contract. So what he did to Freddie was, had him playing in the men's room. He had him playing outside in the parking lot because he's still under contract. And he just to sort of slap him on the wrist a little bit, but then eventually he let him go back into the lounge because Freddie was the best lounge act this town's ever seen. And if you go back and look at the records, he did more shows than anybody ever did combined in this town. Now you figure 40 weeks a year, 3 shows a night for 52 years. Do your math, right? The best. Freddie was absolutely the best, and he's left a big hole, and we're going to miss him. I know I am, because I used to call him every day from all over the world to make sure he was okay. And now my buddy's gone, but not. He's gone, physically, but not from here. He'll always be with us.
Okay. And another great entertainer, Sonny Charles, Checkmates. He's going to tell you about Freddie and some great stories that he experienced with Freddie Bell.
Knowing Freddie Bell since 1962. I went to Chicago trying to find an agent. I was fresh out of the service. I just discharged. I didn't have any civilian clothes. I was that new coming out. I was standing there in my little army outfit. This agent told me, said, go down and see Freddie Bell. He's playing down in Chicago. I don't remember which street it was, State Street or where it was. But anyway, I went down that night. I couldn't get in. I stood there at the window and watched this man perform. I think he was with Roberta Lynn at the time, and they were doing such a great act. I'd never seen any Vegas-type performance before, and I'll always remember that, and Freddie and I became friends later on in life, and he's one of the great ones, and I'm sorry for this occasion, but, let's all celebrate this guy. He's one of the greats. Thank you.
Well, when I think of, great voices, tenor voices, Grant Griffin can do the job, and he's got some great stories about Las Vegas, and it certainly would include Freddie Bell. Hey, Grant, good to see you.
Freddie, listen, Freddie is one of a kind, a legend in his own time. He'll be missed, tremendously. To start doing anecdotal things about Freddie, you'd have to stand here for the next 4 days to catch up. He's just well thought of. He's a legend in his time. He'll be hard to replace. Talent above talents. A guy who would go back to Europe, who still remembers him in Europe. He draws giant crowds when he was in Europe, and he finally got tired of Europe and decided to settle down and retire here, which is to our benefit. But these things happen. The sad thing, it takes something like this to bring so many dear friends together, who see each other, who haven't seen each other in a year, and smile and laugh and shake hands and shed a tear for Freddie and a laugh at the same time.
Well, thank you, Grant.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, Pete. I appreciate it.
And we've got over here Larry Matzkin, an old friend of mine, and Rodney Dangerfield. I call him Rodney Dangerfield, but Larry, it's good seeing you again.
Good seeing you, Rodney.
And it's, as Grant said, this is a point where people come together. Even though Freddie is in heaven, his music lives on. And share a story with us, if you would.
Well, I go back with Freddie in the early days of Wildwood, New Jersey. Now, this is almost 60 years ago when he first started out playing the trombone. Now, very few people know that Freddie was a trombone player, but he was the worst trombone player the good Lord ever put on this earth. But he was a clown, and his energy and his new approach to music went well. In fact, I'm sure people know that one of the songs that was made famous by Elvis called Hound Dog was really choreographed originally by Freddie, and Elvis came to him and says, "Can I use your arrangement?" And Freddie gave him the right to use his arrangement and record it. And of course, I don't have to tell you how popular that song became. So that is one of the wonderful anecdotes about this man. He's going to be greatly missed.
Also, Giddy Up Ding Dong was in the movie.
That's also his, yeah, and Beach, I think that was Beach Blanket Bingo, I think the name of that movie was. So he made a couple of other small movies also, but his love was the Strip here. He performed with all the greats and beside the greats, the Keeley and Louie and the Rat Pack, and everybody knew and loved this guy. So he's going to join an awful lot of guys up there. They're going to have a hell of a good time.
Well, we will too when we get up there too. But right now, let's get. Hey, Larry, thanks a lot.
Thank you. It's nice. Thank you for having me on.
For sure.
Bye-bye.